Hello everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, February 10th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First up, I have my February 2017 Google Webmaster Report. It's filled with tons of stuff around Google updates, the mobile first index, the mobile interstitial penalties, stuff around Google changes, and all this other stuff. So if you were asleep over the past month, you definitely want to take probably about 3 to 5 minutes to read this post. It's posted on February 6th at seroundtable.com, so definitely check that out. Moving on, there definitely seemed to be a Google update, a pretty big one this week. Not like last week, but another one this week. The last week one was more around link issues and link penalties, in my opinion, and this one's more just one of those pure algorithm updates. Some are saying Panda, some are saying quality content, and some are around that. As you can see, we have lots and lots of comments on the post, lots and lots of people talking about it. Not only was there lots of chatter around that update, but there was definitely a lot of tools that were showing major signals saying there was an update. So if you did see an update around February 7th of this week, lots of people are chatting about it, lots of people are showing signals on it, and you are not alone. There was a bug with the Google mobile results showing desktop URLs and not the mobile URLs. Obviously, responsive sites, you don't have to worry about that, but Google kind of acknowledged that there was some type of bug where Google mobile was showing the desktop URLs. So, for example, IKEA has an m.ikea.com URL. If you search for IKEA in the mobile results, it would show you the desktop page as opposed to the mobile page. I initially thought it was an issue with Google maybe testing the mobile first index, but that's not correct, I don't think. It was a bug with Google. Google is testing a way to report autocomplete suggestions. So you know that little thing that comes down as you search. Let me zoom in there so you can see it. So as you search, you're able to go ahead and it gives you completions. Google is testing this report offensive query button. I personally do not see it. They announced it yesterday after some negativity around what's going on with during the elections, as well as autocompletions about race or religion or politics or whatever it might be, and this is going on for years and years, so they actually are now testing a way to report those things. It'll be interesting to see how that works and what changes with that. Google said they won't tell webmasters which links Google is not counting, either because of Penguin or disavows or whatever, because they don't want to go ahead and give spammers the information they need. Gary from Google said, absolutely not. That's basically giving link spammers everything they'll ever need, and Google doesn't want to go ahead and do that in the Google Search Console link report. Moz is talking about Google Search Console. Moz is very skeptical over the data, or at least a report on Moz. This is so they're very skeptical over the accuracy of the data in Google Search Console reports. Obviously, there's probably reasons for it, but the tool outlined 5 different reports: the HTML improvements, index statics, internal links, links to your site, and the search analytics. Obviously, the search analytics report was the most critical to me, and they did test, tracking clicks and impressions and so forth, and they said only Google Search Console only recorded 2 impressions out of the 84, and absolutely 0 clicks, and that's obviously very concerning to me and to a lot of other people. So Google's looking into it. Gary responded saying, we're looking into it, but at the same time, you never know what one tool reports versus another tool reporting, and there's lots of little things around that. So it's kind of hard to know for sure. Google Search Console also is now integrated or connects with Google Data Studio. Google Data Studio is Google's free way to build custom cool reports, and it actually has a built-in connector to Google Search Console. This is what it could look like if you go ahead and connect. Really cool graphs and stuff, and you can do pretty cool stuff with it, which is nice. So definitely take a look at that. Google Search Console actually sent out lots of alerts this week, maybe some by accident, that were not valid, around upgrading your WordPress site and your Joomla site and other CMSs. So if you got this, it might not be 100% accurate, so don't worry too much, but definitely take a look to make sure you're on the latest version of your CMS. Google said if you are using multiple URLs and Google's using their duplicate content classifier to go ahead and cluster those duplicate listings together, they will more likely use the HTTPS results. So if you have, HTTPS www.a.com/file name, and you have a similar page, an HTTPS version of that, but a different file name, Google will then say, all right, let's use the HTTPS because it's an HTTPS result, and they like to go ahead and show HTTPS results over HTTP results. Google said, and they admitted, and they always tell you to move HTTPS and so forth, they said URL, site, and site moves are a pain. So John Mueller said the end result is the same. Changing URLs, not just the protocol, obviously HTTPS, is always a pain. I bite the bullet and move forward. He said, just do it. It's a pain, but doing the work could be a pain for larger and older sites, but you definitely should do it. Gary from Google said that, yes, we are still using PageRank for ranking. He said this actually 6 months ago after Google removed the Google PageRank score from the Google toolbar. He said, yes, we still use PageRank for ranking. It's just you just don't know what your PageRank is now. And Gary, for some reason, said it this morning again. He said, after 18 years, we're still using PageRank and hundreds of other signals and rankings. And he then linked to the official backrub, which is the PageRank algorithm that the founders, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, wrote back in the day at Stanford. This is interesting. Google's now showing, at least for some cases, stars in the local pack, even if there's only one review. So here's an example. You can see there's only one review, but it's showing 2 stars. Usually they used to only show it if you have multiple reviews, but now maybe Google's showing it for 1 star or more. Google launched officially hotel rich cards today. This came from Brad Brewer, who covers this closely. You can see here are the rich cards over here. And it's not AMP powered. About a month or so, or 3 months ago, we reported that they're powering this by AMP. Now it's no longer powered by AMP per se. It's powered by regular structure markup, and it's pretty cool to see that. Google's now listing this top carousel feature for filtering results. Not really filtering, but expanding your results. I personally really dislike it. Let me show you what it looks like. Zoom in a bit. So here's an example of, I think I showed you this last week as well. So we're going to search for top websites, and it's pulling a list in the carousel. You can scroll through them of the top websites. It's not necessarily coming from Alexa. I don't know where it's coming from. It might be. But Gary kind of implied from Google that it is coming from Alexa, but I'm not exactly sure if it is or not. But I personally hate this look. I hate the way this looks, to be honest. This is big news around the AMP world. Google's now letting or enabling searchers and users to actually better find and easily find the canonical URL of the page when they're on the AMP page. So here's an example of Google showing, this is the AMP viewer URL. It's a Google URL with AMP, with your site. This is the AMP source, and this is all served from the AMP cache URL, which is the one up there. But now, if you look, you can actually, it's showing a Google URL for the AMP page, but if you click on the share button, it gives you the actual URL, lets you copy it and share the actual canonical URL, which is pretty cool. Google said they're retiring, and they announced this before, and they're actually now retiring converted clicks. They said use conversions instead of converted clicks. They actually once announced a year ago or so that they're retiring it back in September of last year, but it ended up they actually pushed that off, and now they're retiring it next month in March. So if you are using converted clicks, switch to conversions. And Google AdWords announced that, or said that you could actually manage up to 85,000 client accounts under one MCC, My Client Center account in AdWords. So if you are, if you do have lots of clients, you're in luck. You can manage up to 85,000 different clients in that Google AdWords MCC account. And finally, if you're really angry with Google because Google penalized your website because you weren't going by the Google guidelines, you got de-indexed, you got a penalty, you got whatever, suing Google is probably not going to work for you. A company called eVentures went ahead and sued Google for de-indexing their websites or some of their websites. And Google in the court, the U.S. District Court, I believe in Florida, sided with Google saying, hey, I'm sorry, 1, the First Amendment right, 2, they specifically violated Google's guidelines, and they go on to list a whole bunch of reasons. So if you are going ahead and upset with Google and you want to sue them, you can, but likely you're not going to win in this type of case. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, February 10th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.